Because I am slightly concerned about this disconnect, because you said that there's strong powers within the London plan currently, but obviously we're seeing this loss across the city, and also the Good Growth Fund, which I know I've spoken to you about before, about how that hasn't been invested in things that traders really needed. There are takedown places have put in a submission into the London plan, which are attached to the letter I send you, and I just implore you to read that, because it really speaks of the the cultural erasure that's happening across our city.
Okay, we're now moving on to a question on behalf of Assembly Member Garbett, Saving London's Markets.
Can I thank the member for her question? London's street and covered markets are vital assets to our city, and I'm proud of the diverse mix of more than 300 public, private and community managed markets. London's markets play a vital role as places of employment, trade and leisure, bringing variety, history and character to our streets and town centres. They provide low-cost, low-risk spaces for people to start a business, new ideas.
An Assembly member raises serious concerns, warning that London's markets are disappearing. She highlights how cultural spaces are being erased and pleads with the mayor to read her letter, a letter that exposes what she calls the cultural erasure happening across the city.
And build their futures and form a key part of Londoners' everyday lives, offering goods that serve the community. Between 2017 and 2025, I worked closely with the London Market Board, which I set up to provide a strategic oversight, unlock value and tackle the key challenges faced by the market sector. And I'm proud that my £74 million flagship Good Growth Fund allocated £20 million of its funding directly to market-focused projects. I'm also proud that we work with TfL to support Seven Sisters Market, which is recently reopened, to serve the local community once again, and it's great to see Assembly Member McCartney at the official reopening. Earlier this year, we published the London Growth Plan, which will help deliver and secure long-term stable economic growth that benefits all communities. High streets and other economic hubs, including markets, will play a central role in achieving this. To ensure that support for London's markets reflects their vital economic and social function, we undertook a review to explore how the GLA can best support the sector going forward, and this led to the decision to retire.
Sadiq Khan thanks her for the question and begins listing his achievements. He proudly mentions London's 300-plus markets, saying they're vital for jobs, diversity, and local identity, from food to fashion. He praises the £74 million Good Growth Fund, which supported several market projects across the city.
The London Markets Board. In its place, a new sector-led London Markets Partnership that will now put the leadership of the markets agenda directly into the hands of the sector. This gives London markets a stronger platform to shape the citywide approach and to align with London's economic strategy. In addition, the chair of London Markets Partnership is a member of my London Business Forum. This will offer the market sector an opportunity to engage with other business leaders on issues impacting London's wider economy. And my civic partnership and High Street Place Labs programs are also strengthening markets as anchors of vibrant high streets, from Hoxton Street Market in Hackney to Surrey Street in Croydon, Catford Market in Lewisham.
Thank you. I'm glad we both agree on how important our street markets are, just because of providing low-cost fruit and veg, flexible employment, things like culturally specific foods and fabrics. But I wanted to ring the alarm bell, really, about the situation that some of these markets are facing.
The tone shifts as the Assembly member sounds the alarm. Traders at Elephant and Castle are being evicted, despite being promised new stalls in the redevelopment. She says, "I'll send you a letter today. Please take urgent action." Her frustration is clear. She's fighting for communities losing their livelihoods.
Just since I've submitted this question, 4 more traders have been evicted in Elephant and Castle. People that have been promised sites on the regenerated site, but they've now been evicted. And I'm going to send you a letter today, and I just would like you to look at that and take urgent action. I don't know if you're aware of that situation.
I'm aware of the regeneration of Elephant and Castle and the impact on the market and the transitional arrangements. I wasn't aware of the individual case, but I'm more than happy to look into it.
Great. So, I'll send you a letter on that today. And like you've described, these markets are all across our city, but these save groups have popped up because they're really worried about them. Like you mentioned, the Seven Sisters Market, which obviously had decades of a group that were fighting to save that market. And I think the only reason it exists because the traders hung on in there, and the group fought for it to be a community asset. And we've got save groups all over the city. Save Ridley Road, there's Friends of Queen's Market, there's Save Brick Lane, there's Friends of Shepherd's Bush. And these exist because they're really concerned about the future of these spaces. The developers circling
Khan responds that he's aware of the regeneration and its effects on traders, but admits he didn't know about the specific evictions. He promises to look into it personally, but his cautious tone shows he's treading carefully.
Because of the value of the land, increase in pitch fees, the evictions that I've just spoken about. But I'm really worried about the erasure of culture that's happening through these changes to these markets, with people being just pushed out, being a lot of migrant communities and, like you said, our rich multicultural. So I just wondered if you're hearing from those traders in those markets about those situations.
Well, firstly, we've got to accept there are some people, not the member and I, who don't see the benefits of markets. And I might hopefully set out why I think they're important. I think what we see is, yes, record investment from City Hall, but the challenge is the landowners can see more money's coming in from other users of the space. So one of the things we're looking into in relation to the next iteration of the London Plan is how we can use planning to prevent change of use in terms of some of this space use for markets. Our London Plan already pretty robust and pretty strong. But she's right. We're seeing, we're seeing people.
The Assembly member reminds him that community save groups are forming all across London, from Ridley Road to Brick Lane and Shepherd's Bush. She says these groups exist because people are desperate to protect their local markets from redevelopment, rising fees, and gentrification.
Seeing the potential of land they own being used for more profit. It's not a market, and we've got to consider the impact on the heritage of our city, aside from the individual families and businesses affected.
So have you heard directly from traders from those markets and the people that I've described about their concerns? Have you heard those directly?
Yeah, indeed. The Deputy Mayor and I were not long ago visiting a market near Stratford where this issue was raised, and Howard Orwell does a great job in terms of being at the coalface, speaking to market traders all the time. I was recently in Tooting Market, which is transformed in recent times as well. I know the challenge, and John McCartney, my statutory Deputy Mayor, was at Seven Sisters this weekend. By the way, she gave lots of credit to the brilliant market holders, but there's great local representation.
I am slightly concerned about this disconnect, because you said that there's strong powers within the London Plan currently, but obviously we're seeing this loss across the city, and also the Good Growth Fund, which I know I've spoken to you about before, about how that hasn't been invested in things that traders really needed. There are Protect Our Places have put in a submission into the London Plan, which are attached to the letter I send you, and I just implore you to read that, because it really speaks of the cultural erasure that's happening across our city.
I'm more than happy to share, and I'm grateful for raising these points. They're raised regularly by the Deputy Mayor, John McCartney, and I'll take on board the ideas she's got as well, I promise.
Khan agrees that some landowners see markets as less profitable and prefer new developments. He says the London Plan is strong, but admits changes are needed to stop markets from being replaced. We must protect the heritage of our city, he insists, a rare moment of alignment between the two. The Assembly member presses harder. Have you heard directly from those traders? Khan answers that he and his deputy recently visited markets in Stratford and Tooting, where traders voiced their worries. He praises the local stallholders, calling them the heart of London's communities. The member closes with a heartfelt warning. Despite the mayor's powers and funding claims, markets are still vanishing. She urges him again to read her Protect Our Places submission, a call to save London's cultural soul before it's too late. The mayor nods and promises to take her ideas on board.